Hi guys, my name is Joy6 and I'm here with a little bit of trivia for you. I have for you the 5 Path of Champion mechanics that inspired PvP mechanics. For those who don't know, Path of Champions is Legends of Runeterra PvE mode, kind of like a roguelike for anyone who doesn't like playing against real people, I guess. So the first one that inspired PvP mechanic in Path of Champions was the Relentless Dread power in the Mistwraith boss. So this boss appears in Thrash's campaign, and every time a Mistwraith dies in this boss, another one put back in the deck, and they draw one. So the Mistwraiths already on their own, they already go onto the board buffing themselves. So anytime a Mistwraith goes on this board, they buff themselves, and when you kill it, they get another one because they keep drawing and they keep putting Mistwraiths back into their deck. And I feel like this card that came afterwards, the Proliferating Darkwraith, is very similar to this power because it says, last breath, create in deck an exact copy of your strongest Proliferating Darkwraith in the deck, then double the stats of the Proliferating Darkwraith in the deck. So it's kind of similar. I saw a lot of inspiration by this power in Path of Champions to this PvP card. So far this card hasn't seen any play, but maybe when we get the Shadow Isles Champions in December, maybe it sees some kind of play, maybe with a Yorick or a Carthage or something. The next one, I feel like it's more of an inspiration. This is Gwen's star power. It's the first star power she gets in Path of Champions, which means when you upgrade this champion, you get this power, and it says, Snippets of Song. Round start. If you don't have the attack token, summon a Ghastly Band. After you upgrade Gwen 2 more times, you always summon the Ghastly Band, but if you only have her at 1 star, she just summons it when you don't have the attack token. And then we got the Opulent Foyer being released right afterwards, this PvE edition. And it says, when I'm summoned, summon a Ghastly Band. Round start, if you have the attack token, summon a Ghastly Band. So before this landmark was released, Gwen saw a little bit of play, but it wasn't that much. It wasn't very dominating. After this landmark was released, she started being a lot more oppressive. She started working with champions with scouts, so we had the Demacia version of the deck, since anytime you started a free attack with a scout unit, you would generate a Ghastly Band, and it overall just sped up her Hallowed effect. Before, she would have to work really hard to get Hallowed going, and after this landmark, she already had this boost almost like passively. The difference here is that in the landmark, we don't have we need the attack token to have the summon, and later on for this power in PvE in Path of Champions, you don't even need the attack token. So it was a very direct inspiration for me, and it worked really well, so well that they had to nerf it to not work with scout units anymore. So the next one is actually our dearest beloved Jinx. Jinx is anyone who plays the PvE game will tell you this. The Path of Champions is her home ground, it's her home. She is the queen of the Path of Champions experience. She is the very first champion that players get, and she is absolutely insane in Path of Champions. And one of the first powers, this is actually her first star power, is called Wreak Havoc, and it says, when you level up a champion, create a Super Mega Death Rocket in hand. This is any champion, so any other champions that you have in the deck, when they level up, they will get a rocket. But this in PvP only works with Jinx. This was actually a change made to Jinx. It was one of her buffs way back in, I think it was patch 3.14. Jinx got this change that allowed her to get the rocket as soon as she levels up. Beforehand, she didn't have the rocket, and you have to work hard to get the rocket even after she leveled up, which was very tiring, very exhausting. And now she just gets one whenever she levels up, which makes her very fast and actually put her back into the meta. She was a bit forgotten at this time before she got this buff. It worked so well that once again she had to be nerfed. Her rocket went from 4 damage to 3 damage because she was just generating too many rockets, even in PvP. You can guess that in PvE she generates a lot of rockets. I have been have seen a lot of discarded rockets in my time playing Path of Champions. The next one, this is actually a more recent one, and this is almost word per word effect. So the Intrepid Mariner is a mini boss in Ezreal's campaign, and it has this effect that says keep searching. Round start, the player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws that many. And then with Janna being released a couple of months ago, we had this card, Sunken Temple, which says round end, updraft your hand, and round start, draw that many cards +1. So it was adapted to work with updraft, which is Janna's main mechanic, but it is very, very similar to the effect that this boss has in Path of Champions. I think even the effects, the visual effects are the same. And Sunken Temple actually got an extra line for this effect to work with draft. So updraft, so it says round end, updraft your hand. So on top of your, this recycling of your hand every round, they also get discounted in mana. So of course, I must say that this was one of my most hated bosses in Path of Champions, just because it takes too long for both players' hands to go back into the deck and back again into your hand. And it actually is one of my most hated effects in PvP today, because I also hate Sunken Temple. Sorry, not sorry. Let's go see the top one. So the top one, the very, very, straightforward top one mechanic in Path of Champions that made its way into PvP was actually Yasuo's landmark. So before, this is Yasuo's first star power, and it says follow the wind. Round start, if you have the attack token, stun the strongest enemy. I think it's actually the second star power that he has. So if you upgrade this champion, you get this effect, which obviously works very well with this champion, as Yasuo needs stuns to level up. And when it went to PvP, it inspired the landmark Windswept Hillock, which says, when I'm summoned, draw Yasuo and stun the strongest enemy. When you gain the attack token, stun the strongest enemy. So it's almost word per word this effect from PvE, from Path of Champions, but it also has the extra effect of summoning Yasuo and stunning the strongest enemy on play, which is something that Yasuo players often complained about, that they never drew Yasuo because Yasuo didn't have a bolt, as we call tutors in Legend of Runeterra. It didn't have a bolt like Shen or other champions in the game, like Sejuani, Gangplank, and such. But Yasuo got his own bolt, which is actually a temple, and he got a very nice buff with this landmark to get that effect of stunning the strongest enemy every round. In this case, every time you have the attack token. This card didn't really make that much of a difference, but I think for Yasuo players, they actually got very happy that this champion could work more dynamically throughout the matches with the stuns going anytime you have the attack token. And you also saw a lot of play with the Katarina Yasuo deck back in the day before rotation. Nowadays, he is just an eternal champion, but you can still play him with this landmark and not feel as bad as before when we didn't have this card. So guys, that is it for today. These were the 5 mechanics from Path of Champions that inspired PvP mechanics. I hope you liked it. If you think of any other mechanics that you saw in Path of Champions making their way into PvP gameplay, please comment down below. If you like this video and would like to see more, give it a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.